Welcome back, my little kittens. We are once again playing Connected Hearts. We left off last time escaping from the prison, and we're outside, and it's nighttime now. However, apparently it doesn't last that long. Once I'm free, the first thing I do is take a deep breath. I close my eyes and fill my lungs with air, feeling how my energy comes back. Then I fix my sight at the exit door of the prison. Wait, you're not outside? Okay then. Just a few more steps and I would be back in the city. I cross the door, then feel a chill run to my spine, so cold it shakes even my soul. All of my body goes pale and cold, as if my heart had stopped beating. Before me, I see the corpse of two puppets. I guess those were the guards. Oh, did the masked doll kill them? Their masks are broken in pieces, as if something had savagely beaten them. The same for the rest of their bodies. Or is you coming into this place and being real in an unreal world, it's destroying the idea of it slowly? Near their bodies I see gears, springs, and other clockwork pieces, confirming my supposition that they were artificial beings. For a moment I think it might be the work of the masked doll, but it makes no sense. At least, I don't think it was her. I also don't think it was the work of the king. But then who? It seems that I had been trapped for so long that it was already night. But that is not all. The town has transformed into something else. It was always strange, but that word alone is not enough to describe it now. Now, it was terrifying. A huge red one shines above the town. Crows sit on the rooftops of buildings that somehow got twisted by the influence of the moon, looking unnatural. The wind blows, feeling unusually cold. Then I hear the sound of footsteps. Something is lurking nearby. And if that wasn't scary enough, suddenly I hear a loud hit. It was like hearing a traffic accident in inhuman force. My very soul shakes, frightened at that moment. It was close. My heart turns to stone just from thinking about it. A chill runs down my spine, leaving me pale. What could that have been? Whatever it was, I just hope it ignores me, just like the puppets. My common sense tells me that it's better to hide, but at the same time, I feel an enormous curiosity. I take a deep breath. I guess it would sound foolish, but actually I want to see what happened. Something there is calling me. I walk carefully, without knowing what I would find, until I finally arrive to the place where the sound came from. My heart jumps at that moment. Before me, there were two puppets, the same I had seen during the day. However, what is very different is their behavior. Instead of pretending to be happy villagers of a fantasy town, they are fighting. No, I was wrong. One of them is beating the other, who doesn't make the slightest effort to defend itself. It looks like it wants to continue with the farce of its job while being brutally destroyed. The aggressor then hits him again, making a furious bang, as if it was a cannon shooting. The victim's mask breaks in pieces, revealing nothing more than gears and springs. It instantly stops moving. It is dead. However, that doesn't stop the aggressor, then, sooner or later, hits it 3 more times, each attack as loud as the last one. I tremble at the same time I cover my ears as a reflex. Before my eyes, the puppet is reduced to twisted metal pieces. Not much is left of it, at least less than needed to be recognized. I stare at the pieces on the ground without words. I'm astonished, pale from the incredulity, with my heart heavy as lead. It isn't seeing the death of the puppet what shocked me, but the brutality of the other. It seems loaded with the purest malice, mad with hatred. And then the aggressor turns to my direction. The smiling mask has many scratches, surely from the pieces of metal that went flying. But that only makes it more disturbing. That image turns me into stone. I can't even breathe. I see it stare at me in silence for endless seconds, as if it didn't know what to do with me, until it finally starts walking. Slowly, the puppet gets closer to me, without anything I could do to stop it. You could always turn and leave. My legs don't react. I don't even have breath. The only thing I can do is close my eyes, knowing it would be my end. At least I find comfort. With such power, I would die instantly, with the first hit. I hear its steps get closer, more and more, until finally, strangely, they seem to start getting away. Went past you, thinking you weren't actually there. Every time the sound grows weaker, until I can't hear it anymore. Even then, I wait a moment before opening my eyes. I instantly look around, finding only empty air. Then I let out a long sigh. Never before I remember feeling so relieved. Seems I am still invisible, I murmur to the cold air. I think I have never felt happier in my life for being ignored. I wait a few seconds to relax, then close my eyes and take a deep breath. When I open them again, I set my sight in the yellow stairs. I look up slowly, following the stairs until seeing the castle at the distance. That was my destination. Without more delay, I start to carefully walk up the stairs. It wasn't necessary. I knew I was safe. But even then, the idea of finding myself with another berserk puppet made me nervous. Many minutes pass in silence, without any news. I just continue going up while occasionally finding a piece of twisted metal on my way. Then I suddenly stop. I hear a bang at the distance, like a cannon shooting. I tremble because of how sudden it was, but just like it appeared, soon the calm returns. I wait a couple of seconds, confused, until finally I decide it is better to continue. Since then, the sound of bangs become more frequent, never too often, but I get used to suddenly hearing them without trembling. With that, one of my questions is answered. I thought it might been just a puppet that went berserk, but it seems there are more. In the way, I find dozens of broken masks with pieces of clockwork. It was like walking along a graveyard, or rather, a battlefield. It makes me anxious just to imagine it, but I can't let that scare me. After unknown seconds, I stop a moment to rest. I'm about little more than halfway. Then I set my sight on the buildings. They are strangely warped, as if they had been stretched, tilted, and curved to the sides. I can't tell what it means, just that it is weird and gives me goosebumps. Now my only doubt left was if all the nights were like this, or this night was special. I resumed my travel to the castle, this time ignoring everything else on my way. I only stop, but I feel I saw a shadow lurking nearby. I don't manage to see what it is, but I'm sure it was a puppet. Soon later, I hear a loud bang not far from here. When I reach the castle, I realize the guards are broken to pieces. I look at them with curiosity before getting inside. The hallway is just like before, except the torches are lit. Ooh. Okay then. You guys aren't as creepy as the lady, but I still don't like you very much. I know. At the end, I arrived to the throne room where a numberless puppets await for me, looking down from the second floor. No, there's 5 of them. That's not numberless. I look at them for a second. Seems they were having a party, drinking and laughing without moving a single finger. My heart turns to stone when I hear what sounds like a whisper. It must only be my nerves. Truth is, I'm not sure, but it seems they are laughing of me from up there. I shake my head, trying not to think about that. I still have to convince Henry to help me out of here. It sounds almost impossible, but I can't give up on it yet. Even with this terrible attitude, I don't want to think a child can be bad. Once I get close to the throne, I'm ready to push aside the red curtain, the only thing between me and Henry. However, I suddenly stop. My fingers freeze in the air, just a centimeter before touching the curtain. From the other side, I hear what seems to be sobs. That makes me more perplexed. It seems impossible, but it is no mistake. Someone is crying. I'm so lonely. I hear her cry without rest, saying small phrases full of self-pity occasionally. I have no doubts. That is Henry. But it seems too weird, too much. It is a complete turn to the opposite direction from the first time I saw him. Nobody loves me. For a moment, I even doubt if I should bother him, but I can't simply go away and come back later. I don't know if something dangerous might happen later. I'm sorry for him, but he will have to bear with it. I take a deep breath before finally crossing the curtain, appearing suddenly right in front of him. What I see, taking in a few words, breaks my heart. He rubs his eyes while crying, looking not like a king, but like what he really is, a kid. What are you doing here? How did you escape? When he notices my presence, Henry suddenly trembles. He quickly cleans his face with one hand, and then pretends to be in a bad mood, like if nothing had happened before. I just managed to do it. I speak relaxed, ignoring that I had seen him cry, at least for now. I can't shake that idea from my mind, but the first thing I want is for him to know that I'm not going to make fun of him, even less hurt him. Comfort him. I'm not his enemy. To be honest, even after what happened, I don't hate it. He is just a kid with too much power on his hands. Just defending himself. Like, you're sad, make a world that everybody's happy. If nobody seems to love you, you just push them away so they don't hurt you. It's a defense mechanism. And after living in this place, even as a king, for what I believe was a long time, I can't blame him for not understanding others. The puppets are just toys. Talking with them would be the same as talking to the wall. Thinking about it again, it isn't hard to know why he feels so lonely. You have to go back to the prison, he said with a shaky voice, showing he was still hurt by whatever made him cry. If you don't go back, the kingdom of the sun might be lost. Okay. Save. Go back. What is wrong with you? I won't go back, not even insane. Both of those are not good. Both of those are bad. What's wrong with you? What's your problem, kid? And then I won't go back, not even insane, doesn't make any sense. Like, I guess what's wrong with you might be a different way of saying, hey, what's the matter? Talk about your problems. I'm here to comfort you, so I guess that one. Well, no. What is wrong with you? Do you really think it is okay to throw other people to the dungeon and leave them there? I'm angry, and it is easy to see. There's no compassion in my voice. I don't... Gary, you really get on my nerves. I don't like your character at all. I'm only trying to protect my kingdom. Henry answered, now sounding nervous. Looks like there actually is some regret in his heart. Protect your kingdom? Do you even know it? My question is strange, but as we talk, the inhabitants are destroying one another in a frightening way, doing more damage than anything I could ever do. Henry looks into my eyes for a second, then looks away. Seems my words had shaken him. I can't think of anything else to say, so we both go quiet. Time passes, almost crawling, until finally my lips move to make other question. Why were you crying? He trembles after listening my words and then pretends to be angry. I wasn't crying, he said before cleaning his face. All right. If you don't want to go, it will have to be by force. Guards! I remember the first time I heard that order, my whole body trembled. However, this time it produces nothing in me. I don't even blink while looking at him. Time passes with no response, unlike the first time, which was instantaneous. Henry, your guards won't come. My voice sounds unusually cold. After saying that, I remember seeing them destroyed in the entrance. Huh? He exclaimed confused before looking at me angry. What did you do to them? Nothing, I said simply, even knowing if I should add anything else. Seems he doesn't know what is happening out there, and if that's the case, it would be better for him to see it with his own eyes. It is something very hard to explain with words, and I fear that if I try, it will only make him angrier. Nothing? You are lying! I stare at him in silence, letting the time pass slowly. I don't know how to treat children. I just act naturally, and in this case, my answer is to be serious. Why were you crying? I ask again, changing the subject. Are you unhappy in this place? What? Henry exclaimed at the same time he makes a bitter face. No, of course not. The kingdom of the sun is the best place that could exist. Somehow, I can't believe that. Is it the best place because there's no one here? I see him tremble at that question. For a split second, his eyes show weakness before going back to anger. That was how he really felt. No, you are wrong. People only ruin things. Here, everything is perfect because nobody complains or yells at you. Everyone is always smiling. It's much better than the real world. The devotion he uses to say that seems pitiable. I look down for a moment, feeling sorry for him, because clearly he can't admit that he is unhappy. This is only a farce, or you have to grow up. This is only a farce, because he's still a kid. Don't be an asshole. Like, seriously. But everyone smiles, everyone listens to you and obey you. Nobody ever contradicts you or talks behind your back. But do you know what? This is all a farce. None of those puppets have a heart. They are only toys. And you yourself must know it, otherwise you wouldn't be feeling alone. After saying that, I look around at the castle, before setting my eyes on him, seeing the incredulity on his face. It's true, I guess you could call this world perfect, but that's only because it is empty. It has no flaws, because there is nothing here. False happiness, false friends, false people. They exist only in your imagination. You were right in thinking real people are full of defects. They make us angry many times, they disappoint us, they make us cry, and many more things. But what they give us is real. They are there, you can hear their voices, feel their warmth, and share your ideas. It is that much more than anything all of your puppets together could ever do. Confess I didn't plan to speak so much, but once I started, everything flowed out naturally. Now I see Henry with his eyes open, wide with incredulity. Soon he looks down and covers his face with both hands. He looks about to cry, but manages to hold it in. Maybe I was too harsh on him, but it was necessary. Sometimes a kick in the rear can push you farther than sweet words. Henry, do you want to see what happened with your guards? That way you will see I was being honest before, when I said I did nothing to them. I had just said that when I see how he reacts, turning at me with great curiosity. He says nothing, but it's clear he wants to know. Come on, it won't take long. You can trust me. He finally nods. Okay, but you better not be lying. It is an empty threat. I ignore it and then turn back, pushing the curtain away to cross it. Then, suddenly, I feel something is wrong. It was strange, some sort of intuition I don't remember having before. I look up, where the puppets are having a party, only to find that that place is empty now. So why were all those puppets drawn? Like, if it was only used in this one screen, I don't know why it was created. There is not a single one of them here. They just disappeared without a reason and without making a sound. I blink confused, unable to think what it could mean. What are you looking at? At that moment I shake my head. Nothing. I say at the same time I turn to Henry, seeing the confused and impatient look on his face. Then I return my side to the front. Without delay, I start to walk to the castle's entrance. However, it is hard not to ask myself in my mind what happened with them. The way back is just like always. We walk all the way in silence until we are close enough to see the entrance at the distance, along with the destroyed bodies of the guards laying on the cold ground. He's still gonna assume that you did it. Ah! Henry exclaimed before running to them. What happened to them? Who did this? He looks at the bodies confused, then picks up one of the gears, seeing it fall apart between his fingers. They are completely ruined. After saying that, he turns to me. Okay, I guess Henry and Gary are the same person now, with a sad look in his eyes, like a child whose toys had just been stolen. At least, it doesn't seem he believes I did it. It was another one of them, the inhabitants of the kingdom are fighting. After saying that, I pause. Henry stays quiet with his sight down looking at the pieces. I guess it must be really hard for him to believe it. Let's go to the city. There you will be able to see it with your own eyes. There is no answer. Henry remains still with his sight fixed on the same spot. He seems to be deeply thinking about something. There is no need. I believe you. I was about to say something when suddenly Henry speaks. He then looks up and turns to me. His eyes reflect a profound sadness, but also resignation, as if he had finally accepted he couldn't keep lying to himself. During the nights, the kingdom of the sun goes insane. And then the next morning, they quickly repair everything and pretend nothing had happened. I always knew about it. After saying that, Henry shakes his head. No, it is more like I had dreams where that happened many times. But after waking up and seeing everything was like usual, I just forgot about it. But I always had the fear it was more than a simple dream. And now I can finally confirm it. The sadness on each of his words feels heavy on my heart. Without thinking twice, I pat his head to comfort him. Okay, so yeah, apparently Gary's reaction to any child is just to pet them. Henry looks down and sighs. When he returns his sight to my eyes, I can see a sliver of kindness on his. Come with me, and I'll lead you to the exit. My very core trembles surprised when I hear him say that. Really? I say, unable to believe it. Henry nods. Yes, I believe you deserve to go back. His voice sounds much friendlier. He had cast aside his role as the king. Thank you very much, I said, really thankful. After saying that, I see him take a deep breath. Hey! Hey, Zuzu! Hi! My cat wants my attention. Yeah? Come here. If you want my attention, you better come to the other side. Or you can run away. Okay. Then he starts walking back to the town. This way. The well I told you about is hidden in the town's church. It would have been better if it was hidden in the playground, like where you started from. Okay, I follow you. My heart beats excited, knowing that I would finally get out of this world. Now I only have one doubt left, but I prefer to ignore it for now. About those other puppets? Or wanting to get Henry to leave this place? In silence, we go down the stairs back to the city. I can't say it is any less scary than before. The warped buildings with impossible architecture, pieces of clockwork, and broken masks on the ground. The cawing of the crows and the sound of the lurking puppets. Okay, you either want my attention or you don't. Make up your mind. I'll be back. The cawing of the crows and the sound of the lurking puppets, along with occasional bangs. Henry trembles with each one of them, as a kid afraid of thunders would. He even moves closer to me, as if wanting to hug me. But he holds out, pretends to be brave. Is it like this every night? I suddenly ask the question just to make a conversation. If we go quiet for too long, it will feel like we are alone, like divided by a great distance. Henry never turns to look at me. His sight is always to the front. I never go out of the castle, so I couldn't be sure. But many times I dreamt that the city goes mad at nights, just to be reconstructed later when the sun comes out. I thought those were just that, dreams, nightmares. But it seems it's not like that. Henry gulps and then takes a deep breath, cleaning his face later with one hand. He seems anguished to know the truth. I set my sight to the front and change the subject. Henry, what did you do during the day? What do you mean? I mean, who did you have fun during the day? Or what kind of work you did? Now that I think about it, it is a very good question. I can't imagine what he had to do as the king of a puppet world. But if he did nothing more than sit in the throne, that would be incredibly boring. I had to do nothing. Being the king of an idea kingdom, I had no job or to give any order. So I used all day to have fun. Doing what? Henry stops when I make the question. Then he turns to me, looking at me with curiosity. Well, I ate sweets the whole day. Also, I had plenty of toys and many books to read. Some video games even, but they were all very repetitive. I got bored of them pretty quickly. I scratched my head while thinking on what he said. I see him tilt his head with curiosity while while looking at me in silence, trying to guess what was in my mind. Somehow, I feel what he said about the video games was because he had no knowledge about no more than a few of them. If this world is a production of his ideal world, then it must not be able to have things beyond his knowledge. Where I come from, there is an infinity of video games, each very different, or at least most of them. Sadly, people tend to copy most movies. Really? I see him ask, incredulous. Yes, I'm sure you would be able to find many things to your liking, I responded a bit excited. Henry blinks, looking down for a brief moment. I guess that would be fun, is all he says. Then we resume walking down the stairs. I thought you were already in the town. I see the broken pieces of metal in our way without saying a word about them. It is better to ignore the night and keep on moving. Thankfully, we are invisible to them. Otherwise, I fear we wouldn't have gotten this far. I doubt I would be able to get to the castle in one piece. We continue moving for unknown minutes until finally I look up, seeing the church at the distance. I don't say a single word, just continue walking, seeing it get closer with every step. When we arrive, I see a big wooden door. It looks very solid, much more than the bars of the prison. My lips move. I was about to ask how we were going to open it, but before that, the answer appears before my eyes. Henry places his hand on the door and softly pushes it. The door responds, opening itself smoothly. It obeys the order from its king without second thoughts. I blink confused after seeing it. Definitely having the king at your side was something very useful. At least I won't have to worry about closed doors. What are you doing? Come on! Then said Henry, after noticing I was absent-minded. I instantly shake my head and smiled, embarrassed. He looks at me for a second before turning his sight to the front and starting to walk. I follow him silently. The interior of the church is, to say in a few words, dark and incredibly frightening. The only light comes from the candles that adorn the place. I can see numerous religious icons that go from paints to sculptures. What is interesting is that I can't recognize any of them. They don't look like any religion I know, so I guess they are invented. Why, you have extreme knowledge on every single religion that has ever existed? But without a doubt, what was most frightening were the puppets sitting near them, praying in silence. They appear to have been like that for many countless years. Some of them were attacked. There is one who was missing half his face, another without a shoulder and head, and worst of all, with just a pair of kneeling legs. Be the perfect scenery for a horror movie, one I would prefer to never watch. Aren't you afraid? I suddenly asked Henry. He seems perfectly relaxed, something that surprises me for a kid of his age. Even an adult would be afraid in this place. He instantly turns and looks at me with curiosity, tilts his head and blinks confused. No? Why should I be afraid? I can't say I expected that response. I just shyly smile as if I had said a bad joke. No, it's nothing. I just got a bit scared. He looks at me for a couple of seconds before setting his eyes to the front. Being the king, I guess he isn't afraid of anything would hurt him. For him, this place is just dark, but not dangerous. To me, instead, the mystery of what could be hiding around every corner puts my instincts in red alert. Come on, we're almost there, Henry says before opening a door that leads to the back of the church. Then he turns around and invites me to follow him with his eyes. Together, we walk through a hallway, lightened up by candles, until we reach a spiral staircase that goes down more than my eyes could see. I just hope that the well he was talking about isn't as far as the Earth's core. Henry, who do you worship in this church? I guess it's not the best question I could ask, but saying I wasn't dead curious would be a lie. He stops for an instant and takes a deep breath. A couple people without importance. His reaction is quite peculiar, to call it one way. It is clear there is something he is hiding from me, since he suddenly looks sad. I think it is best not to push with the subject. Besides, there's another thing I'm curious about. The well you talk about has always been here? Henry shakes his head in denial, then looks into my eyes with curiosity. No, it suddenly appeared one day, just like you did. At first, I didn't know what it did, but after seeing the reflex of the water many times, I realized it was a door back to the real world. That is why I ordered to have it sealed. I didn't want anything from that place to enter the kingdom of the sun. I looked down, pensive. Plenty of ideas cross my mind, but my lips don't say a single one of them. I understand, was my weak answer before resuming my way. Hey, Zuzu. Hi. Yeah? Now you gotta sit still and not meow if you want to be in here. Yeah? Oh. Before, I would have Zuzu locked out of the room, but she would always meow so pitifully that I just can't stand doing it. Oh, I love my little kitty too much. I feel bad. But she keeps bothering me. Man, I'm trying to record things. Yes. After many long seconds, it appears we had entered an underground cave. Come, just a little bit longer, Henry said, walking faster. Without a doubt, I follow after him. It is behind this door, he then added. At the same time, he pushes with both hands at a huge double door made of iron, as if it was a door of a fortress. The doors grind as they move, revealing the purest darkness behind them. I can't see even a centimeter beyond. However, that doesn't seem to bother Henry. Come on, it will get illuminated once we step inside. I nod and follow him, crossing the doors. My heart beats with anxiety, feeling something bad was about to happen. But that has to be a mistake. And then, just like he said, the lights turn on suddenly. There are gas lamps hanging all over the roof of the cave. They lit on magically, revealing a well at the end of the cave. A simple well, like any kid would imagine. However, that's not the only thing the light reveals. Hi! What is the king doing? Is he trying to escape? Outrageous! Unforgivable! There is no worse crime. I feel a chill run down my spine, shaking my very core, when I see a big number of puppets inside the cave. But that alone is nothing. It was hearing them speak what made me feel as if someone had stabbed my back with a dozen of ice needles. Later, to make it worse, the metal door closes behind our backs, making a loud noise that gives me goosebumps. I look back, only to realize we are trapped, before looking back at the puppets. I instantly recognize them. Those were the noble puppets that were having a party in the second floor of the castle. Somehow, they foresaw that we were going to come here and set us a trap. No, you were wrong. I was only helping Gary to go back to his world. And why does the king help him? Why is the king helping a real one, when the king himself is who hates them the most? The king is wrong. The king shouldn't help him. If he does, then he isn't apt to the rule anymore. Henry looks very disturbed. The puppets attack them with their words. What is worse, they are putting him against me. Oh my god! This person is being attacked, but you know what's worse? They're attacking them in such a way that this person is gonna hate me now. Oh my god, it's so awful. Poor me. I turn to face him with curiosity, feeling my heart as heavy as lead. He is trembling, looks so vulnerable. I just wanted to help him. After saying that, Henry looks down. He seems about to cry. Why do you want to help him? Don't you realize he wants to take you back to the real world? That place you hate? That place that hates you? There, everyone rejects you. There, everyone thinks badly of you. There, everyone disappoints you. There, everyone is a bother. There, you are unhappy. Different puppets speak, but all of them connected as if they have a single mind. Henry covers his face and sobs. He looks heartbroken. Seeing like that him tears my soul, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can do. Looks like many things had happened to him before arriving to this place. That young man is the source of your problems. If he disappears, the king will go back to normal. If he disappears, the king will have no more doubts. He must disappear. At that moment, I feel my heart jump. My eyes open wide with incredulity, noticing how one of the puppets takes out a crossbow and points it right at my heart. Casually just gets ready to kill you. Henry? I call his name with a shaky voice, scared, but there is no answer. He looks terribly confused, as if the whole world is turned upside down for him. I still think that the masked doll girl was creepier than even this. He must disappear to protect the kingdom of the sun, to protect our king, to protect our happiness. He must disappear. At that moment, the puppet shoots the crossbow. The shining tip of the bolt flies straight to my heart. I'll die. If I don't do something, I'm sure I'll die. Nah, don't dodge it. My instincts scream for me to move away, but my body doesn't react. I stay paralyzed just watching the arrow get closer to me at incredible speed. And then, for an instant, everything turns red, followed by unbearable pain that shakes my very core. Ah! I exclaim in agony, feeling the arrow buried in my chest. I can see it, the tip buried into my chest fully. It is a sure death. It is impossible someone could survive something like that. And yet, I seem to care so little. The unbearable pain goes away as soon as it appeared, leaving only calmness as if nothing had happened. The wound would not even bleed, as if my body could simply ignore it and pretend it was nothing. Or maybe I should say my mind is the one that ignores it. I take a hand to the arrow and touch it. It was almost like touching air. Yeah, because it's not real. For a second, my eyes see it as transparent, as if its presence was so thin it could disappear in any moment. Yes, without a doubt, that was the answer. Everything in this world is a product of the imagination of a kid. They aren't real as I am. Just like the bars of the prison, they can't stop me. Without a doubt, I take off the arrow from my chest. It was so easy. It doesn't even hurt when I do so. Then when I look at where it was finding there wasn't even a wound there. It is only logical. The arrow doesn't exist if it can't reach me It can't reach me if I just ignore it. It isn't real. At that moment, I forget about it and drop it to the ground. When it touches the earth, it crumbles to smoke. Then I set my eyes on Henry, who looks back at me surprised. His eyes shine with incredulity I would never have expected from him. Without thinking, I smile. I think now I know how you feel. I know what it is to think the world is trash. And the older you get, the more you think that. But not everything is bad. There are also good things that are worth it. What are you talking about? The real world is garbage. Yes, you are right, but it's more than just that. It is also the only place where you will ever meet a real friend, where you will have your best experiences. I understand that there is a lot to hate, too much actually. Things hardly go the way we want, but denying it won't do you any good. After saying that, I put one hand on his head. I don't like it. I've felt like that before, but now I feel nothing more than sorry for the kid trapped in this fake world. Henry, if you stay in this place, you will always have your hands empty. You will live a lie eternally. You will never know what it is to have a real friend, or to meet another person who loves you for who you really are. You will never learn what wonderful things others can do. I look at him for a couple of seconds, at his teary eyes, knowing I was right, before looking away and facing the nobles. Where they should be standing, I see only disarmed pieces of clockwork. And then I hear Henry say something with a shaky voice. I instantly turn to him. I do want to know what it is to have a friend to talk with, even if his voice is different from mine. I'm tired of being so bored and so lonely. I can only nod to that. It seemed I had awakened something inside of him. In that case, come with me, I say with a smile. At the same time, I offer my hands. He accepts it and smiles back. Yes, let's go. See, you look cute when you do that. In silence, we hold hands. Then walk to the well at the end of the cave that all this time has been waiting for someone to jump in. I can't see the bottom. However, I can hear the sound of the ocean coming from it. I don't bother to ask how. Are you ready? I asked, feeling my own heart tremble. Saying that I was comfortable with the idea would be a lie. But I have come too far to doubt. This is the moment. Henry nods, telling me with a gesture that he is ready. Then I return my sight to the well. I take a deep breath, then hold my breath for a moment, preparing to jump. Scared, I put one foot in front of the other, and then suddenly I find myself falling. In just an instant, everything becomes dark. I fall deeper and deeper, losing sense of everything around me. Until finally, I realize I can't tell if I'm still falling or not. Right, we can leave it here then. We achieved Henry's story. So, we'll read the second dream next time in the next episode. Right, thanks for watching.